storm, a hindrance to our new levels. On Mark chapter 4, we see a story of Jesus Christ. They said, let's cross to the other side also. That means, let's now go and possess the land on the other side. Let's go and possess new territories. Let's go and move from the where we are now to we venture into a new level, into a new territory. And that's what they said when they started the journey. But the Bible tells us that a storm, a windstorm, almost stopped them because it almost killed them. Are we there? Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Well, the Bible says that this storm came with such a force that they tried even, to remove the water. It was so terrible because water literally was now getting into their boat. It was an overwhelming storm. And the purpose of this storm was to stop them. In fact, it was to sink their boat. I told you there is no vacuum in the spirit realm. Whatever the level you are going to is already occupied. The promotion you are asking for, there's something. There is no vacuum. The land you want to take, there are other people. That's why God told them, you will dispossess people who are stronger and greater than you. Because of my being with you. Because of my power being with you. So, there is no vacuum to an extent that wherever you are headed to, they have occupants. In this particular case, Jesus was going to the region called Gadarene. But the storm came from the forces, from Gadarene, saying, why are you coming to our level? Why are you coming to dispossess us? Why are you headed our way? You should just remain there. Are you getting? The Bible says in verse 1, and they came to the other side. Have you seen they have arrived? But it was not an unoccupied region, as you'll hear. And the Bible says, and when he had come out of the boat, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit, who has his dwelling among the tombs, and no one could bind him, not even with chains, because he had often been bound with shackles and chains. And the chains had been pulled apart by him, and the shackles broken in pieces. Neither could anyone take him. And always, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying out and cutting himself with stones. The Bible tells us the man ran, he bowed, and he worshipped Jesus. And he said, do not torment me. And he even said, do not, do not torment me. And Jesus now tells the unclean spirit, come out. What was Jesus addressing? Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Who worshipped Jesus then? The man was under total control. He was out of his mind. Are you getting? Do a mad person know what to do? So who worshipped Jesus? It's the evil spirits. And it's not the man who saw Jesus in the first place. He doesn't even know who Jesus is, my friend. He doesn't. This man is a madman. Staying in the tombs day and night, crying, cutting himself. Do you see the demonic forces? Some people, you think they are themselves. They are not. Some people do whatever demons ask them to do. That's what the Bible says. Every knee must bow. Even demons, when they see Jesus, they will worship. It's not that they worship him kupenda. And they will cause those who are with them for their own survival to throw them down so that they can worship. So you think somebody is profusely worshiping. No, it's a demon. Demons who are using his mouth to plead with Jesus. What do I have with you, Jesus, son of, Jesus of Nazareth? What do we have in common otherwise? The demons are asking, why do you want to destroy us? Because we have no power over you. You have nothing in common with us. We wanted to create one. It was not possible. Let me tell you what was happening. The storms came. The storms to your next level come for one big reason. To wound you. To hurt you. To frustrate you. To make sure that the demons on the Gadarenes on the other side have something in common with you. Demons wanted those forces of darkness that were territorial. They knew Jesus was coming to their territory. Jesus was coming to their level. Jesus was coming to dispossess them. So they wanted to make sure that disciples are wounded. They would complain. You see, whenever there is sin, sin wounds the soul. And the Bible says, you shall prosper and be in health only as your soul prospers. When you get into a new level, you have already prospered. Are you getting what I mean? And that the devil does not want. A storm must arise. Why? So that if Jesus was wounded, if Jesus sinned by saying, what is all this now? What is all this? What is all this? You know, heart. Why is everything frustrated? Why is this storm coming? He would be wounded in his soul. If you say, Peter, what is this storm doing? Look at this storm. Complaining. He would have sinned, and because of the sin, he would have been wounded. And if he was wounded, he would have something in common. When they reach Gadarene, would not be saying, what do we have in common with you? Why do you want to torment us? They wanted to render him no authority to deal with them so that they would stay in power in the region of Gadarene. Are you getting what I mean? When the enemy sees that you are making efforts, you have declared it is another level of glory, service, conference. He knows you want to get to the other side. And that side is the one who is occupying it. Are we together? So a storm would arise. But Jesus handled the storm well. Are you getting? He never allowed the storm to hurt him. Did you see him that he was hurt and complaining about the storm? No. In fact, the people he was concerned more about were the disciples. Why are you fearful? He was wondering. Not the storm. He addressed the storm. I read, I think, about 3 accounts of this story. In one of them, it says he rebuked the storm. I think that's Matthew. In the account of Matthew, he was saying he rebuked the storm, and he also what? Rebuked the sea. He rebuked the wind. He rebuked the sea. And it all calmed down. So, dear brethren, it is a sea. Why did Jesus rebuke a sea? Why would Jesus tell a sea, peace, be still? Jesus actually was not necessarily addressing the sea. The sea is the water. He knew what was behind the sea. What was behind the storm, he knew. He knew very well the forces behind making these waters. He rebuked the wind, because when he rebukes that, he is rebuking and stealing and binding the force that he knows is behind this sea. Some of us sometimes think, you know, vitu vinachipuka. Vitu vinachipuka. But what we are doing is, we talk about the storm, we complain about the storm, we cry about the storm, we get fearful about the storm, we shake about the storm. But we forget that the storm is caused. If you don't address the force behind the storm, you will be wounded. You will sin. Sin wounds the soul. He will take advantage of that. That's the foothold. The devil will make sure that 15 people rise against you when you are about to go to your next level.